headlines around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. Suspected gunman killed police inspector in Rivers State. NWAP partners William Uchemba Foundation to empower women farmers. Senate passes Southeast Development Commission bill. NNPCL destroys 82 illegal oil refineries in 1 week. ECOWAS court sets up committee over unimplemented judgments. Super Falcons star says Cameroon can't stop us. Singer Kaid shares experience on dating older women.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
Natural.
The news in details. River State Police Command says an inspector was killed by gunmen who ambushed and attacked his men on stop and search duty at the Eliozu flyover in Obiapo local government area in the state on Wednesday night. The spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringekoko, who disclosed this in a statement, said the gunmen, who were spotted in a cotton-colored Sienna bus with fully tinted glasses, drove in from the Rumodumaya axis near Port Harcourt, where they launched the offensive, which claimed the officer's life. She, however, said the team rose to the occasion and returned fire and killed one of the miscreants who wore a mask, but that other gang members escaped by the whisker, while extending the deepest condolences to the family and colleagues of the fallen inspector, assuring that his sacrifice will not be in vain, noting that his resolve to serve and protect remains unwavering, while standing together against those who seek to disrupt the peace and harmony of the society. Last year, former divisional police officer of Ahoda Division, Bakwang Bashim, was ambushed and killed by a cult gang. Since the death of the cop, the command has been on his trail with constant land and air bombardments in the various hideouts of the Iceland cult leader, even as some of his lieutenants were gunned down previously. However, on Monday, Grace Iringekoko said intelligence reports revealed that the wanted cult kingpin was killed in a recent joint security raid in the Iduekpe community, Ayadia East local government area. Emoha local government says it has commissioned cold chain used for the preservation and storage of vaccines in the primary healthcare sector of the local government area. Executive chairman who disclosed this during the commissioning of the cold chain at the council secretariat complex in Emoha said his administration is committed to building stronger institutions towards the achievements of dividends of democracy. He also said plans are underway to ensure that other medical outreach is held by December this year, adding that over 168 people benefited from the 2023 medical outreach held at the council secretariat.
A whopping 48.6% was used for capital expenditure, and we were able to drastically reduce the running costs of government. And that is why you find projects like the diesel tank, people will ask, why build a diesel tank? What is that for? The reason is that we plug the leakages in government so that it will not become a recurring decimal, that every day you are buying diesel with 50 liter in 50-liter jerrycan. It gives the impression of people who are not ready. Now, once you fill that 15,000 capacity diesel tank, it will take you will be able to know whether it will last for a month or two, depending on usage. And we felt that the best thing to do is to begin to build strong institutions in this place, so that you lay proper foundation for people, for whoever will come after you. A whooping
Chidi Loin, as the pride of Emoha local government area, also spoke on the significance of the coal chain to the primary health sector.
You are the pride of Emoha local government area. They will be getting ordinary water for vaccine. They will be getting vaccine. The MOH told you. So that when what you get is what you are supposed to get. That is the importance of the cold chain. If you see how people carry this vaccine, that's why sometimes when they call me in the school where my children are attending, they say they came, they want to give us. I said, no, don't worry. Tell them they don't give them. May they not give them. Because you are not sure of the cold chain, whether it's not broken or it's broken, and you give poison to children instead of the drug. Because these drugs are chemical. The moment they are not kept at the condition for which they will be stored, they are denatured and they turn to another thing. They could become toxic, and you are still giving to the children. You can imagine. So a chairman that has thought about this and said, no, this will not happen, not in my own local government. I will provide what is necessary to make sure that that does not happen. Does not require applause, except it comes to share money.
Also speaking, the head of medical outreach in Emoha Local Government Council, Dr. Mrs. Deborah Amalayo, said the cold chain will serve as component for the preservation and storage of vaccines in the primary health care sector.
There will be a break in the way our vaccines are preserved. So this project is very apt, very important that we have such an important edifice put up for us, so that our vaccines are preserved. They have the potency is preserved at every point in time that the vaccines are administered to anyone. We know that what the person is receiving is what the person should receive. So the cold chain is one aspect of one component. What the cold chain building is one component of the cold chain that is important to us in primary health care. We talk about transportation of our vaccines, and then it is brought in here, and there is a storage facility for it, which is a cold chain here. And then we have trained personnel that are able to handle the cold chain, and that are able to also administer vaccines to the people of Emoha local government area. So I really want to appreciate us all for coming here. There will be
Chairman of the Edo State All Progressives Congress Governorship Direct Primary Election Committee, Cross River State Governor Bassey Otu, has declared that a fresh primary will be conducted in 192 wards across the 18 local government area of the state. Otu, who disclosed this at the Lushville Hotel and Suites, Gaponia Avenue, Government Reservation area in Benin, said the last Saturday's controversial primary election had been cancelled, adding that the ruling APC removed Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma as chairman of the election committee after the controversy that trailed Saturday's governorship primary in Edo State, while Otu was named as his successor. A statement by the APC National Organizing Secretary Suleiman Agungu saying the Cross River governor has been saddled with responsibility of conducting the rerun poll slated for Thursday, February 22nd, while the other members of the primary election committee include former Osun State Deputy Governor Mrs. Titi Layoye, Tomori, APC's flag bearer in the Plateau State 2023 governorship election, Nentawe Goshe, Umar Musa, Lawan Gaba and Rabiu Suleiman, who will serve as the secretary. The change was made a few hours after 4 leading aspirants called for Uzodima's replacement. National Chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, who was arrested in Benin, Edo State capital, by operatives of Zone 5 Police Headquarters, has been released on bail, adding that his arrest was a result of a petition forwarded to the zone from the Office of the Inspector General of Police in Abuja. He said his persecution meant to destabilize the party, which started after the general election in 2023. Abure said the state chairman, Kelly Ogbaloy, said the state youth leader was still being held and would likely be released later today. Adams Oshiomhole, the leader of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State, their votes should be of consequence in determining who governs the state starting from November 12th, adding that failure to make their votes count in the process may lead them to work against the party's interest in September when the main election is taking place. Responding to the protesters' appeal, Shaibu assured them that their votes would count in the primaries and that they should exhibit no fear as their message will be passed to the appropriate quarters, stressing that their massive support is an indication that he will come out victorious of the main election in September. Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progress says its partnership with the William Uchemba Foundation to empower women farmers with the desire to developing and prioritizing agribusiness in Africa for food security and well-being of the people. National Coordinator of Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progress, Farmer Molorash Venson, who disclosed this at a one-day training and empowerment program for women farmers in Imo State, said the foundation has distributed some inputs to support the initiative to grow agriculture at the grassroots to guarantee food security in Nigeria. Farmer Molara called on philanthropists, stakeholders and facilitators to do everything possible to invest massively in agriculture to bridge the gap of poverty and lack of food in Nigeria.
time for us to return back to the basics. And what's the basics? Farming. There is no pride in any state that cannot feed herself in Nigeria, basically. So we have billionaires, millionaires in every state that are not investing in agriculture. We see what the Williams Uchemba Foundation has done here to do. They have made available inputs for our women under the Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progress. And this is what we are asking and pleading, that we should not just leave this burden for the government alone. There is a whole lot that we can do. How many millionaires or billionaires are there in Imo State, for instance? And I got to hear today that there is not a single silo in Imo State. And we have multi-billionaires building mansions everywhere.
Founder of William Uchemba Foundation, who was represented by his father, Chief Uche Mba, the zonal coordinator for Haneze Ndibo worldwide in Imo State, said the love and goodwill demonstrated by his son to focus on agriculture in order to put food on the table to people was a welcome development that appears to be his calling, and prayed God to expand his coast for goal achievements. He assured that the president of Haneze Ndibo worldwide, Chief Emmanuel Nwayawu, is preparing to hold a stakeholders meeting on food security and to give agribusiness a priority in the southeast region.
Very, very much appreciated, very encouraging. I welcome it. I support it. Because it will go a long way to help our women in agriculture. If you know William Uchemba, you find him when there is a crisis situation anywhere, in families, in organizations. He goes out to help. If you know him well, his second name is helping people. This is the first time he's partnering with anybody to do anything in Imo State, his home state. He's been doing quite a lot in other states of the Federation. Lagos, Kano, Kaduna, Cross River, mention them. He's been doing quite a lot. He comes to the rescue of the downtrodden, of the less privileged. That's what I may call his calling. I made it very, very clear to them that Haneze Ndibo has come into the food crisis in this country. I said I was opportune to be in a meeting where the President General of Haneze Ndibo worldwide, Chief Sir Dr. Engineer Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, addressed a group from the River State that paid him a courtesy visit. And he made it very, very clear that we're not sleeping over this food situation or food crisis. He made it very clear that the Igbos are really going to pursue it to a maximum conclusion. He made it very clear that we are now going into it with all it takes for the Igbo man to come back to what we used to be. Enough is enough. We have had enough of the insults.
Other stakeholders and women farmers who participated in the one-day training and empowerment workshop expressed their gratitude to William Uchemba for taking the bold step to support agribusinesses to become the leading light that will bring about sustainable development in Imo State and the country at large.
We have been calling and clamoring for so many things on ground for us to move on into this agriculture. We have some seedlings, fine, but there are implements. We have something like harvesters, we have tractors. These are the things we need: harvesters, tractors, planters, and the improved seedlings like cassava stem, like Uche Williams did in providing the seedlings like cucumber, okra, tomatoes, and what have you. We are calling on our individuals, our politicians, our philanthropists to come to the ends of women. The women are out now. We are ready. As in Igbo, they said, "Akajaja buteronu mano mano." We are no longer clamoring for hunger. We are now going into the farm to make sure that foods are fully on the table.
One of the basic encouragement is from a woman from Kogi State, the North Central Coordinator, to be live in Edo State today. Because I was so happy when I heard about this empowerment, and with the national president that we have, has so much passion to see that Nigerian women kick what they say hunger out of this country. To me, it's quite disgraceful to say that we are suffering, saying there is no food in Nigeria, when we have all that it takes for us to be able to feed ourselves. Food should be the least of the problems that we should be calling in this country.
And I am here to collaborate with Nigeria Women in Agricultural Progress for what they are doing, because this is the time we'll join hands together, all the association, into the one umbrella for us to achieve our goal. And again, we've trained over 3,000 women last year into agriculture under Songhai, because we partner with MasterCard. So I'm happy and I'm glad on the way from Ebonyi State, being sponsored by our governor, to be here. Tomorrow we are moving to Abuja because of this movement. I am here and I'm glad to be here.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State has denied allegations that he bought some tractors using palliative funds provided by the federal government to cushion the effect of hardship in the country. A statement by the press secretary, Mr. Christian Aburime in Akwa, said those propagating such rumor, insisting that Soludo has shown fiscal accountability and transparency in his government, adding that the claims are entirely false and without merit. Anambra State government, under the leadership of Governor Soludo, also said his administration is committed to transparent and accountable governance with a primary focus on the well-being of its citizens, particularly farmers. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says that his administration would be reducing public servants' working days as part of plans to cushion the cost of living crisis in the country. On the rising cost of food, he added that his administration would open more markets where Lagosians can buy food items at discounted rates, adding that a 25% reduction on transport services will start this weekend for the state public transport system. The governor also said his administration will also in discussions with various transport unions to reduce their fares, and also challenge the private sector to look into what they can do for the citizens by replicating their role during the COVID-19 pandemic. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his government plans to begin distribution of palliative among other initiatives cushioned to the high cost of living in the country. Sanwo-Olu, who disclosed this, said Sunday markets will be created where the people of Lagos can buy food items at discounted rates. He said the aim is to eventually take people out of poverty with an immediate discount of about 25%. Former Ekiti State Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi has commended the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress for rescheduling the controversial February 17 governorship primary in Edo State that saw 3 winners emerge. Fayemi gave the commendation in a statement signed by the head of his media office, Ahmad Sajo, said the chairman of the Electoral Committee of the primary governor, Hope Uzodinma, had announced Dennis Idahosa as the winner, while returning officer Stanley Ugboaja declared Monday Okpebolo as the winner. Elsewhere, Ojo Babatunde, who claimed to be representing the returning officers in all the local governments, declared Anamero Dekeri as the winner of the election. Following the confusion that ensued, both Dekeri and Okpebolo had written the appeal committee of the party to demand their certificates of return, while the decision of NWC had restored the confidence of members of the party in the state and showed the party is interested in producing a popular candidate. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has assured that the continuous rise of the dollar will soon crash against the naira, adding that the federal government is doing everything to deliver on its electoral promises. Abiodun, who disclosed this in Abeokuta at a stakeholders meeting held at the Cultural Center convened on the heels of the prevailing economic hardship in the country, said the government is not resting on its oars, while reminding the people of his announcement weeks ago to release 5 billion naira intervention fund to cushion the effects of rising cost of living and inflation in the state. The governor also said his administration would provide health insurance that will cover over 70,000 beneficiaries, including pregnant women, children and elderly, the market women, and other members of the informal sector. According to the governor, while pregnant women under Ibedero's scheme would be provided with free prenatal care, an additional 5,000 naira per birth, and free postnatal care in the state hospitals and primary health care centers across the state has also been activated. Governor Abiodun said he would provide food palliatives to include rice and other food items for about 300,000 households across the state, and promised that his administration would not be insensitive to the challenges being faced by the citizens, while appreciating the people for their perseverance, patience and understanding. Federal Capital Territory Administration has denied increasing fees in public boarding schools in the Federal Capital. The Mandate Secretary, Education Secretariat, Dr. Danlami Hayo, who disclosed this in Abuja, said some parents claimed that the FCT administration increased school fees for students in FCT public boarding schools, and the development they claimed had forced some parents to withdraw their children from boarding schools to day schools. The Mandate Secretary also denied the claim that some parents have withdrawn their children from public boarding schools in the FCT, adding that FCT public boarding schools are positioned to provide quality education at affordable cost and within the means of parents. He also said that the quality of education in public schools was very encouraging, stressing that the best student in the 2023 West African Examination Council was from a public school. Defense headquarters says no fewer than 18 suspected terrorists were arrested in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, and the terrorists were arrested during operations conducted on February 14th. The defense headquarters said the Abuja Municipal Area Council serves as the central hub of the nation's capital, hosting the presidential villa, embassies, and various prominent government, private, and international entities. Major General Edward Buba said charms and bulletproof vests, among others, were recovered from the terrorists. Buba said in total 244 terrorists were arrested, while 286 were killed in operations conducted between February 13th and 22nd, 2024, while crude oil worth 2.5 billion naira was recovered and 83 suspects were arrested during the period under review. And while highlighting the military's efforts in combating terrorists and bandits, Buba said the need for good governance to quell the widespread of insecurity cannot be overemphasized. Kebbi State Government has donated 20 million naira to traders affected by a fire outbreak that engulfed the popular Agungun market in Agungun local government area. This is coming after the fire outbreak had recently consumed Agungun market, where several shop owners lost goods worth millions of naira, and while releasing the money to the affected traders at the Emir of Agungu's palace in Agungu, Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris, who was represented by the Deputy Governor Senator Umar Abubakar Tafida, said the money was not meant to settle the losses incurred as compensation by the traders, but to cushion the effect of the ugly incident. He also said a standing committee has been set up to ensure equitable distribution of the money, while all affected persons would be treated fairly, and advised the beneficiaries to ensure that the money received was put to good use to improve their respective businesses. The Emir of Agungu, Alhaji Muhammad Samai Mera, in a response, appreciated the state government for what he described as a holistic approach and prompt response to the plight of the common people. The monarch, who was represented by the Goduden Kabi, Alhaji Ibrahim Koldo, lauded the Deputy Governor for visiting the scene of the fire outbreak immediately when the incident happened, saying that it was a sign of good leadership. The chairman, Kebbi State Emergency Management Agency, Bello Yakubu Rilisco, said the present administration under Governor Nasir Idris remained a government that brings succor to its people. Lawmakers in the Jigawa State House of Assembly have unanimously passed a vote of confidence on the incumbent Speaker, Haruna Aliyu. The House, which had been grappling with internal disagreements and tensions in recent weeks, saw a pivotal moment as members came together to affirm their trust in Speaker Haruna Aliyu's leadership, while there was a move by some of the State Assembly members to impeach the Speaker over alleged bad leadership. The vote of confidence, passed with overwhelming support, signifies a collective commitment to stability and unity within the legislative body. The member representing Mala Madori local government area, Hamza Ibrahim, moved the motion for the vote and was seconded by the member representing Garki local government area, Abdullah Ibrahim said the leadership of the 8th Assembly under Aliyu was performing its constitutional responsibilities and complementing the state government's effort to develop the state, stressing that the atmosphere in the Assembly hall shifted from uncertainty to a sense of solidarity as legislators expressed determination to work cohesively for the greater good of Jigawa State. Speaker Haruna Aliyu appreciated the members for the vote of confidence and emphasized the importance of unity in addressing the challenges facing the state and pledged to continue working tirelessly to uphold the principles of democracy and serve the interests of the people. Trade Union Congress has stopped the planned two-day nationwide protest declared by the Nigeria Labour Congress over the high cost of living, inflation, insecurity and hardship in the country. The Vice President of the TUC, Tommy Etim, said the decision to protest on February 27th and 28th, as announced by the NLC, was not taken collectively by both unions, adding that in the letter dated February 19, 2024, by its Secretary General, Dr. Nuhu Toro, said the NLC unilaterally took the decision on the planned protest, while the Department of State Services warned organized labor against the planned mass action, saying it could be hijacked. This is coming after the NLC had on February 16 declared a two-day protest, which would begin after the expiration of the 14-day ultimatum it issued to the federal government, which will expire on February 22nd today, while the warning was on account of the alleged failure of the government to implement the agreements reached on October 2nd following the removal of fuel subsidy and other economic reforms which had triggered higher transportation costs, inflation and general hardship. The NLC and TUC earlier on February 8 gave a two-week ultimatum to the government to meet demands ranging from wage increments to improved access to public utilities and accused it of failing to uphold pledges to soften the impact of reforms after an emergency National Executive Council meeting on the state of the economy and matters related to insecurity in the country, while the NLC President Joe Ajaero also accused the federal government of failing to implement the agreement reached in October. Leader of INRI Evangelical Spiritual Church, Primate Elijah Ayodele, has advised President Bola Tinubu against listening to Vice President Kashim Shettima and Senate President Godswill Akpabio's statements describing the recent protests against hardship as sponsored. He said President Bola Tinubu, Shettima and Akpabio are deceiving Nigerians, are suffering and this informed their decision to storm the streets to express their grievances. A statement signed by his spokesman, Oluwatosin Osho Ayodele, berated the leaders for being insensitive with the feelings of Nigerians and reducing their grievances to mere. Ojujuwa Development Initiative has called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission to initiate probes into corruption allegations involving former leaders of ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs in the country. The group's publicity secretary, Olada Hunsin Ayobami, who disclosed this in Abuja, made the appeal to the anti-corruption bodies, tasking them to take quick action against former officials accused of misusing their positions, stressing that such actions would contribute to improving transparency and accountability within governmental organizations, thereby moving Nigeria in the right direction. He also said the corruption allegations levied against some former heads of MDAs and the resultant process are too significant to be sensitive to be ignored. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has warned those he described as evil people calling for a coup in Nigeria due to the current economic hardship in the country, warning that the law will come for those calling for a coup in the country over the current economic realities. He disclosed this after inaugurating the main entrance of the 6th Division Nigerian Army and Officers Transit Accommodation at the division headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and assured the armed forces' commitment towards the sustenance of democracy in Nigeria. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has declared the promoter of Sunrise Power and Transmission Limited, Leno Adesanya, wanted for an alleged conspiracy and corrupt offer to public officers in connection with the alleged $6 billion Mambila hydroelectric power station fraud. This is coming after ex-President Muhammadu Buhari denied the payment authorization, the payment of settlement to Sunrise Power and Transmission Limited, which sued the federal government for alleged breach of contract, demanding $2.3 billion in damages. The EFCC posted the wanted notice with Adesanya's photograph on its official X handle and urged anybody with useful information about his whereabouts to report to any of its agencies' office across the country, while Adesania's name featured in the corruption charges filed by the EFCC against the former Minister of Power and Steel, Oluwagunloye. The anti-graft agency had on January 10th arraigned Agunloye over an alleged $6 billion fraud in connection to the Mambila hydroelectric power station when Agunloye served as minister between 1999 and 2003 under the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Meanwhile, Sunrise Power has dragged the federal government to arbitration at the International Chamber of Commerce, Paris, France, alleging a breach of contract, adding that it was awarded a $6 billion to build, operate and transfer contracts in May 2003 by the Obasanjo administration, but said the federal government at the time rejected the agreement, and Sunrise is now seeking $2.3 billion compensation, claiming it had spent millions of dollars on financial and legal consultants before the contract was jettisoned. Troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces has killed 286 terrorists and arrested 83 perpetrators of oil theft and rescued 102 kidnapped hostages. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba in Abuja, also noted that during the period under review, troops also arrested 244 terrorists in various offenses across the country. He said troops denied the oil theft estimated to the sum of 2,565,479,720 naira, adding that the troops in the Niger Delta area discovered and destroyed 134 dugout pits, 79 boats, and 116 storage tanks, destroying illegal activities of illegal refining sites operations.
The troops of Operation Delta Save recorded the following during the week. They destroyed illegal refining sites, they arrested violent extremists and illegal oil bunkerers in Ika South local government area of Delta State. Troops also arrested suspected violent extremists cult group in Okpe local government area of same Delta State. Additionally, troops foiled activities of both violent extremists and armed robbers in Oshimili North local government area of Delta State, as well as raided illegal mining sites in Biase local government area of Cross River State.
Major General Edward Buba, while speaking on the military operations in Northeast, he said troops of Operation Hindin Kai arrested suspected terrorists in the Maturu and Potisum local government area of Yobe State and Askira Uba local government area of Borno State.
The air component of Operation Hindin Kai conducted air interdiction following confirmatory recce of massing up of terrorists at southern Tumbus. The location was observed to be active with terrorist activities. Accordingly, the location was acquired and engaged with cannons and rockets, destroying the terrorists hibernating at the location. Battle damage assessment has revealed that terrorists were neutralized and their logistics bases destroyed as a result of the air interdiction. Similarly, on the 13th and the 15th of February, the air component of Operation Hindin Kai conducted air interdiction. And this was further to confirmatory recce, confirming terrorist activities at Arena Wuje location of the Northeast. Thereafter, the location was acquired and engaged with rockets and cannons, destroying the terrorists and their infrastructure at the location.
Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council says it has concluded clarifications on some aspects of the expenses it released to the public as it relates to the party's legal expenditure. The party says for further clarification, the sum of over 744 million naira was levied as general legal amounts to lawyers, which incorporates other expenses within the legal expenditure. The party also said that a legal fee paid to its lawyers remains a personal thing. adding that its compound expenses on legal matters cannot be tied to one sector. In a statement, the party said that the sum also involved expenses on research, accommodation, transportation, local and international flights, and stationery of its various documents. You are watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
When peace
The Ejogu family of Umunna in Amuju in Isu local government area of Imo State cheerfully mourn the demise of their daughter, sister and mother, prophetess Kola Ijoma Ejogu, whose event occurred on Saturday, 5th of January 2024 at UPTH. Burial arrangement, night of tribute. Date is Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. Time is 4 p.m. and venue is Wish Complex, Wish Avenue Radio Estate, NTA Road, Uzoba, Port Harcourt. Burial service, Order of God of Abraham Ministries. Date Sunday, the 3rd of March 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue Umunna in Izu, local government area of Imo State. Retirement follows immediately after service. She is survived by Mrs. Roslyn Obona, mother, Raphael, Richard, and Wisdom sons, Sonny Ejogu, Ugochukwu Ejogu, Chukwudi Ejogu as brothers, and Kechinere Sebastian sister. May her soul rest in peace. Sign, Apostle Sonny Ejogu and Senior Leader Raphael Ukudiri Ejogu on behalf of the family.
Back, this is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now the rest of our stories. Bill seeking to harmonize the retirement age of legislative officers of the National Assembly from 60 to 65 years or 30 to 35 years of service has been stepped down on the floor of the Senate. The bill was sponsored by the leader of the Senate, Michael Opeyemi, urging the upper legislative chamber to extend the tenure of the clerk and other directors in the administrative structure of the National Assembly, and the proposed legislation was titled A Bill for an Act to Make Provisions for the Retirement Age of Staff of National Assembly Service and for Other Related Matters 2024. The bill was heavily opposed, with Senator Oyinaya Abaribe wondering if staff of the National Assembly who were employed by the National Assembly Service Commission, NASC, are different from staff in other agencies of government. The former Deputy Governor of Abia State faulted reasons adduced by the sponsor of the bill that emphasized on specialization, insisting that there was nothing special about staff in National Assembly that would warrant the 10th Assembly doing the wrong thing, while Senator Ali Ndume, representing Borno South, warned that posterity would not be fair to the lawmakers if the interests of few individuals packaged in the bill was sustained by the Senate. Subsequently, Senate President Gospel Akpabio declared the bill contentious and stepped it down indefinitely. The bill seeks to harmonize retirement age for legislative officers of the National Assembly, exempting them for the application of General Service Rule on retirement age to retire at the age of 65 or after 40 years of service. Correspondent Rotimi Adeoye reports.
In his lead debate, Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele explained that the National Assembly will function effectively if it can preserve its institutional memory as obtainable in other parts of the world. He said the bill seeks to address the underdevelopment of the legislative arm of government, which he said is the least developed, attributed to its dead qualified staffs who have been cut off by the Public Civil Service Rule. Speaking in support of the bill, Senator Sumaila Kawu noted that the National Assembly service job was a specialized one, hence the need for an extension of age and service year. He rested his argument on experience.
This will strengthen the institution for an improved service delivery, stabilize and develop the capacity of the legislature for a sustainable democracy in Nigeria. Permit me to state here that the enactment of this bill will help save the institutional memory of the National Assembly and will also be cost-effective in the long run, considering the cost of engaging consultants.
If you check or if you look what he is doing to promote as a technical aspect of legislation in this chamber, the way he is guiding the chamber, now without this legislation or without passing this legislation, he is going to retire very soon, which there is serious issue on that aspect. We are losing men, and most of this work is by brain, not a physical.
Many of the senators, however, said the bill will create unemployment and delay in promotion ladders. After a heated argument which divided the senators, Senator Ali Ndume advised that the matter be stepped down for further consultations, a suggestion taken by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio.
The person in the Ministry of Finance who is a director, does he not have specialized knowledge of finance? Would we say that it is so different from the person who is in the finance sector inside this place? And when you now say that, oh, that one person here has knowledge, every director here has a deputy, every clerk here has a deputy, and each and every one of them are trying to also, when the people retire, they also go up. When they go up, other people are now employed. Then we want to stultify employment to make sure that somebody stays here beyond the public service rules.
Contentious matter. Let us step it down and do more consultation. I so move. I move. I move.
Some senators who opposed the bill anchored their arguments on training, experience, and transfer of knowledge. They said such procedure cannot jeopardize the effectiveness of the National Assembly's procedure. For the National Assembly, Abuja, Rotimi Adeoye, ATN News.
Senate has confirmed 17 nominees as commissioners of the National Population Commission. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu had asked the upper chamber to screen and confirm 19 nominees as NPC commissioners. According to Senator Abdul Ningi, in his report to lawmakers, says only 17 nominees appeared for screening before the Committee on National Identity Card and Population and met requirements for confirmation. During his presentation, Senator Oningi added that nominees representing Ogun and Ondo states did not appear for screening due to political tussle in the states.
That the function of the Council of Legal Education to oversee legal education in Nigeria includes deciding the cost of tuition and other services rendered to students of Nigerian law school. Aware that Nigeria is currently facing a 27.33% inflation rate, as reported by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, which is projected by trade economics to rise to 30.00% by December 2023. Concerned that in exercising its function, the Council of Legal Education has approved a 60% increase in Nigerian law school fees from 296,000 naira to 476,000 naira for the 2023-2024 Bar Part 2 academic section. Also aware that the 2023 to 2024 Bar Part 2 academic section commenced in January 2024 with no time given to prospective students to raise the balance.
Aware that the National Identity Management Commission regulates national identity in Nigeria, offering services like national identification number enrollment and issuance, national e-ID card, among others. Also aware that the National Identity Commission is responsible for managing Nigerians' national identity database, registering individuals, assigning unique names, NIN, and issuing general multipurpose cards, GMPCs. The House observes that Nigeria face arduous experience during registration, despite various enrollment options and service centers, with most Nigerians yet to collect their NIN cards despite successful registration. Cognizant that NIN is the foundational ecosystem of identifying Nigerians and its functional identification purpose.
Mrs. Mary Ishaya Afan, representing Plateau, also appeared on the screen. Mr. Sani Sali, representing Taraba, also appeared on the screen. Finally, Mr. Ogiri Itokinan Henry, representing Rivers, also appeared on the screen. It took a diligent time and we feel these are worthy nominees to be confirmed by the Senate, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Bishop Alex Ukam, representing Cross River State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Bishop Alex Ukam, representing Cross River State, is hereby confirmed.
Representatives has urged the National Identity Management Commission to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Health, partner agencies, hospitals and other relevant agencies to enroll, register and generate NIN for all Nigerian citizens and residents upon birth. They also urge Commission and partner agencies to urgently resolve the issues for a seamless and nationwide NIN registration and card issuance. This followed adoption of a motion by Honorable Olamijunwolo Alao Akala with the title Call for Better Service in the Production of National Identity Number. Presenting the motion, the Honorable Alao Akala noted that the National Identification Number is a security measure which used to match individuals with their biometric data, tie all records to the database, and establish or verify their identity. He observed that Nigerians face arduous experiences during registration despite various enrollments, option and service centers, with the most Nigerians yet to collect their NIN cards despite successful registration. According to the lawmaker, NIN is the foundational ecosystem of identifying Nigerians, and its functional identification purpose will be defeated if all citizens cannot access their unique national identification number.
That the function of the Council of Legal Education to oversee legal education in Nigeria includes deciding the cost of tuition and other services rendered to students of Nigerian law school. Aware that Nigeria is currently facing a 27.33% inflation rate, as reported by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, which is projected by trade economics to rise to 30.00% by December 2023. Concerned that in exercising its function, the Council of Legal Education has approved a 60% increase in Nigerian law school fees from 296,000 naira to 476,000 naira for the 2023-2024 Bar Part 2 academic section. Also aware that the 2023 to 2024 Bar Part 2 academic section commenced in January 2024 with no time given to prospective students to raise the balance. With no time given to...
In a related development, the House of Representatives has directed the Council of Legal Education to put in abeyance the recent 60% increase in the school fees of the Nigerian Law School, adding that the decision is sequel to adoption of a motion by the Minority Leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, and read on his behalf during plenary by Jinja Musibe. The House mandated its relevant committees on justice and tertiary education and services to explore solutions to the issue at hand and report back within 2 weeks.
Aware that the National Identity Management Commission regulates national identity in Nigeria, offering services like national identification number enrollment and issuance, national e-ID card, among others. Also aware that the National Identity Commission is responsible for managing Nigerians' national identity database, registering individuals, assigning unique names, NIN, and issuing general multipurpose cards, GMPCs. The House observes that Nigeria faced arduous experience during registration, despite various enrollment options and service centers, with most Nigerians successful registration. Cognizant that NIN is the foundational ecosystem of identifying Nigerians, and its functional identification purpose will be defeated if all Nigerians cannot access their unique national identification number. Aware.
In artists and business news, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it uncovered and destroyed 82 illegal refineries in the Niger Delta between February 10th and 15, 2024. The NNPCL disclosed this after 223 incidents were recorded in the past week by several sources, and other oil pits feeding directly from an oil source was discovered in Okrika, River State, with several pipelines conveying crude into the pit, adding that several illegal storage sites were discovered across the Niger Delta region, while sacks and cans containing stolen crude oil were discovered in Rivers and Edo states. Vandalized wellheads and pipelines were also said to have been spotted in Rivers and Bayelsa, while 13 vehicles conveying crude were also arrested in Warri, Delta State, while cases of oil theft kept increasing despite efforts by both private and government efforts to tame the tide. And now to international tidbits. Judicial Council of the Economic Community of West African States says it is combing its excellent laws and reviewing the level of implementation of its past rulings by member states. This is coming after Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, called on the ECOWAS Court of Justice to refrain from issuing orders and judgments that are impossible to enforce, while comments followed calls from multiple stakeholders who said the effectiveness of the ECOWAS Court has been doused by challenges in enforcing its judgments and orders. President of the ECOWAS Commission, Mr. Omar Toure, said the failure of member states to implement its regional court's decision and the enforcement of the judgments of the Community Court has remained a major issue in the effective delivery of the mandate and responsibility of the judicial institution to the community citizen. However, the military-led juntas of Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Niger announced their withdrawal over illegal sanctions harming its people, and also alleged that the bloc had fallen under the influence of foreign governments whose interests they say are far from the people's. Former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, has advised the Economic Community of West African States, Authority of Heads of State and Government, to lift sanctions on Mali, Burkina Faso, and the Niger Republic. Gowon, a founding father of ECOWAS, made the appeal in an open letter to the heads of state and the ECOWAS member states in Abuja, adding that the three countries slammed with sanctions by the sub-regional political economic bloc following military takeovers in their respective countries recently declared their decision to withdraw from the bloc. However, the ECOWAS Commission's headquarters expressed worry that the decision by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic to exit the ECOWAS threatens the unity of the bloc with far-reaching implications for ordinary citizens, and urged the West African leaders, including leaders of the three countries planning to exit, to reunite for peace and stability in the region, while the leader also presented the open letter to the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Toure. In our sports, Super Falcons forward Ifeoma Onumonu is optimistic the team will secure qualifications to the 2024 Olympic Games. The nine-time African champions last played at the Olympics in 2008, while the Randy Waldrum side will face fierce rival Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in the first leg of their third qualifying round at the Stade de la Reunification Douala on Friday. Onumonu believes the Super Falcons have the quality to earn a berth in Paris 2024. Napoli coach Francesco Calzona has advised Victor Osimhen and his teammates that he will not look at their names before deciding on his selection for matches. Calzona, who took over from Walter Mazzarri, hold of star forwards Victor Osimhen and Vicha Varsaskila in the 1-1 draw with Barcelona on Wednesday night. The Serie A champions earned a 1-1 draw in the first leg of the round of 16 contest at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. In our entertainment, Nigerian singer Suleiman Shekani Solomon, better known as Kaid, says most of the women he has dated are older than him. The 19-year-old singer said older women are more experienced and respectable, expressing that they are not bossy, contrary to social stereotypes. According to him, cheating is a deal-breaker. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Suspected gunman killed police inspector in River State. NWAP partners William Chamber Foundation to empower women farmers. Senate passes Southeast Development Commission bill. NNPCL destroys 82 illegal oil refineries in 1 week. ECOWAS Court sets up committee over unimplemented judgment. Super Falcons star says Cameroon can stop us. Singer Kaid shares experience on dating older women. I am Valentina Lawrence. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms: X Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, or you can watch us live on our website at atlanticnetwork.tv. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you. Have a good night.